Hello, in this video we will build a slider like BMW. When the mouse cursor is on bottom or on top of the image, the previous or the next image appear. When we click on the part of the next image, the whole image appears. There are circles on left of the page. These circles allow us to select an image that we want to see. The circle of the active image has a different color. You can download free images from Unsplash or from Pixels. Let's start building our slider. First, I will add a links to CSS file and to JS file. First, we will add images. We will create a div slide. Inside it, we will add 6 div for images. Next, we will create a div for circles. We have 6 images, so we need 6 circles. We will give to each circle an ID. In CSS file, we will add a style to our slider. We will set the margin and the padding of the body 0, so the size of images will be equal to the size of the page. The position of the class slides is relative. For the class slide, we will set the height 100 VH and the width 100%. We will use the method nthChild to add background image to each slide. The image is too big, we will change the background size. We will change the position of the image. Now we will add the other 5 images. Next we will add style to circles. We will set the position of the class circles fixed. Top 50 VH, left 15 pixels. Height of circle is 10 pixels and width also 10 pixels. We will set border radius 50%, so the div will have a shape of a circle. We will add a margin between circles. Circles are not in the middle of the page. We will use transform translate y minus 50% to move circles to the middle. I will change the left of circles. Now we will change the color of circles in H over. We will change the shape of the cursor and we will add a transition. We will create two divs for our slider to add this effect. The first div is previous and the second div is next. Previous to move to the previous image and next to move to the next image. In the file CSS, we will add a style to these divs. Their position is fixed. Height 100 pixels, cursor pointer. The div previous will be on top of the page. And the div next will be in bottom. We will add width 100%. I will add a border to divs. We will remove it in the end of the project. Next, we will add the effect that shows part of the next or previous image. In JS file, we will create a variable for previous. We will use query selector to select the element with ID previous. We will do the same for the element next. We need a variable for div slides. We'll add event listener on mouse move to the element previous. On mouse move, we'll add a transform to the style of slides. We will translate images -100 pixels. We will add another event listeners to previous, this time when the mouse out. We will set translate y0. So when the mouse leaves the div previous, slice return to its position. In the file CSS, we will create a new class of transition. We will add this class to slides, so the translate effect will be smooth. In JS file, we will add the class trans to slides before translate. Now the move is smooth, but it's in the wrong direction. We will remove minus. We will duplicate the code and we will replace previous by next. We will add a minus to translate y. When the mouse cursor is on top of the first image, we want to see the last image and not a white space. In the HTML file, we will add two slides. We will add the last image before the first image and the first image after the last image. Now a part of the last image appear and not a white space. We will add a code that forces the browser to show the top of the page in reload. If we want it to work, we have to add scroll behavior smooth to the style of HTML. We want to show the first image, so we will translate slides minus 100 VH. In GS file, we will create a new variable slide1 to get the height of the page. We will create a variable slide for the rank of the active image. The active image when we reload the page is the image 1. We will modify the value of translate for each event listener. For the event mouse move of previous, the value of translate is minus slide multiply h plus 100 pixels. I will show you later the value of translate on Google Chrome. Now we will add two new events click that allow us to change the image. On click, the value of slide will be the rank of the previous image, and when we click on div next, the value of slide will be the rank of the next image. When I click on previous or on next, the image change. The problem is that next or previous continue to add values to translate even after passing the last image or the first image. I am using inspect to show you the value of translate. Every time I click on previous, the event click add the value of the height of the image to translate y of the class slides. The value of slide here is -2 and we want to stop at the value 0. We will add a new event, this time for the class slides. The name of this event is transition end. If slide equals 0, zero is the rank of the double of the image 6. The value of slide will be 6. That means we will move to the image 6. If a slide equals 7, 7 is the rank of the double of the image 1. We will move to the first image. It works, but we will remove the animation when we move from the last image to the first image, or from the first image to the image 6. So we will remove the class trans. It works. We can see that we moved from the double of the last image to the last image without animation. It's time to add a different color to the active image. In CSS file, we will create a new class for the active circle. We will make the circle bigger and we will give it a different color. In GS file, we will create variables for each circle. We will create an array circles for these variables. We will add the class ActiveC to the first circle. It's not in the middle, so in CSS file we will add translate to the active circle. We will create a new variable for the rank of the previous active image. When we click previous, the rank of the previous image is the rank of the current image plus 1. I forgot to create a variable for the circle number 6. The index of circle 1 in the array circles is 0. I want it to be 1, so I will add a new variable to circles before circle 1. So on click we will remove the class ActiveC from the previous active circle. We will create a new variable for the current active slide. Current slide equals slide. But if slide equals 0, current slide will be 6. Because the event listener transition end will move the slide from the double of the last image to the last image. We will add the class ActiveC to the current active circle. It works for previous. When we move from the first image to the last image, we removed the class trans from the div slides. Before moving from the last image to the fifth image, we will add the class trans to slides. For next, we will add the class trans when we move from the first image to the second image. We will change the style of circles when we click Next. Now we will make the circles functional, so when we click on a circle, we can change the image. We will use for loop to add event listener click to each circle. When we click on a circle, we see an image that have the same rank of the circle. It works. Now we will add the style. Previous slide equals slide. Our slider works. It remains that we change the style of the first of the or of the last circle. In CSS file, we will create a new class tailc. It makes the first or the last circle smaller. When we reload the page, the last circle will be the smaller. The small circle isn't in the middle, so we will move it to the right. If the rank of the active image less than 4, we will remove the class tailc from the first circle and we will add it to the last circle. Else we will add the class tailc to the first circle and we will remove it from the last circle. There is a bug. If we click fast, the event transition and don't work. Because transition took half second, the value of slide will be less than 0 or more than 7. So slides translate to position when we can't see any image. So if slide less than 0, slide will be equal to 6. And if slide more than 7, the value of slide will be 1. We fixed the bug. Last thing to do, we will add the code of the small circle to the clicks event of divs previous and div next. Now we finished BMW slider. We can remove the scroll bar and border from the divs next and previous. This is the end of this video. Take care.